welcome back to another video. My name is Brooklyn and today's video is going to be a book unhaul, which I know, very surprising from me. I don't often do these. I've only ever done one other unhaul video and this time I've got a massive stack of books. I was relentless, so I'm excited to chat with you about why I'm unhauling these books. So if you're not already, please subscribe and let me know down below a book that you have unhauled recently, or a book you're thinking about it, or if you don't unhaul, let me know why not, because I was very on the fence for a while, but I finally come to the conclusion that I need to get rid of some of these books. So the main reason that I'm unhauling most of these is because I need space for other books that I want to buy, and all of these books I've either read and not enjoyed them, or I just know I'm never going to pick them up, or I've heard bad things or whatnot. So yes, I am getting rid of all of these. So let's get started. To begin with, which is a very big one for me, and I never thought I would be doing this, but I am. I'm getting rid of my saga editions, my volumes of saga. I've got volumes 1 to 7. And the reason for this, I love these. I love this series and everything. And I am up to date with it now, but I can read it for free online. I can read it through Hoopla. And even my library has them as well as they come out. So I don't need to pick them up physically, and I know that I won't collect the rest of them because they're so expensive to buy. Not so expensive, like they were like about $20 each, but so that is a lot of money just to read these in like an hour. So I just came to the conclusion that someone else with a bigger graphic novel collection that is obsessed with this series would enjoy it much more than I would, or someone that hasn't read them yet and wants to physically read them. But I have now moved on. Like, I did physically enjoy reading these, but yeah, now I've just moved on to reading it digitally, which is okay with me. But yeah, I'm kind of sad to say goodbye to these because this is my first ever graphic novel I've ever owned and really enjoyed. And I just feel like I've been on a journey with these characters, so it's hard to let go. But honestly, I just don't need these on my shelf. Same wavelength. I'm also going to be getting rid of Bodies, which is another graphic novel on my shelf. This one's just something I picked up randomly. I like the look of it and I needed it for a readathon or something. And yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. But I just don't need a graphic novel on my shelf. I think I've just come to that realization that I don't want to collect graphic novels or manga or anything like that. I just want to collect novels, which is just a massive statement to make. But yeah, I feel like they're too expensive for me to buy, so I won't be buying any more in this, if this is even a series. Never even thought about it, and it's not something that I absolutely love that I need on my shelf. So that's the next one, a controversial one. It's The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I have read Maggie Stiefvater before. I have read this, but I have the Shiver series, anyway. And I loved this when I read it. I had the best time reading these books, and they're one of the first hardcover books on my shelf. So when I saw this and saw everyone raving about it, get it? No. I wanted it, and I ended up reading it quite recently, ages after I initially purchased this, and I just didn't really care for it too much, but I wish I did. I just feel like it might have been something I enjoyed back in the day, but not so much anymore. So I'm sure someone else will enjoy this much more than I do and want it much more than I do, so that's another one. Next we have Between Us by Mari McFarlane. And I've heard amazing things about this author, and this is one that I've picked up on a whim, and I ended up listening to this one, so I didn't even physically read it, and you know, it was okay. It wasn't too much that I can really say about it because I don't know, I felt like it was like too adult for me almost. It's just the kind of book I feel like my mum would like to read, because of the life experience that she has, and I just feel like because I'm not around the same age as these characters, which I don't often feel when I'm reading books that I need to be around the same age, but this is just one of those books that I felt like a bit too young for, kind of thing, and that like I would have enjoyed it when I was a little bit older. So Yeah, I feel like I might pick her up in the future if there's like a book, if there's like a synopsis that really brings me in, but other than that, probably not. So I just didn't need this on my shelf, and plus it's one of those really big paperbacks. I don't like it when they're this big. Then we have a beautiful edition of Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney. I can't believe I'm getting rid of this as well because it cost me an arm and a leg, but I just, and look at this also, like so pretty, so pretty. That's why it cost me an arm and a leg. But yeah, I just don't need it, and I'll never read it again. It wasn't a 5-star read, and I just don't need it on my shelf. So someone else will definitely like this one more than me. Then we've got Bunny by Mona Awad. I feel like this isn't a surprising one if you've watched me reading this. I think it was in my first tar vlog. I did not enjoy this at all. I ended up giving it 1 or 2 stars. I just had the worst experience listening to this, and I didn't physically read it again, and it's just not something I need on my shelf, so that's going. Also, another one, My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. This one I was up in arms for forever because I love Tessa Bailey so much. This one I did not enjoy, and I went back and forth about keeping this book because it's Tessa Bailey. I have a whole Tessa Bailey collection. Why would I get rid of this one? But I don't love it, and I shouldn't just keep a book on my shelf because, you know, I've got a collection. I ultimately want all of these books on here to be books that I've loved and enjoyed and that I want part of my collection. So that's kind of where I'm at with collecting books at the moment, and someone else can have this that's actually enjoyed it. One is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I read this probably about a year ago and I didn't really enjoy it. I think it was like a 3-star for me. It's just another one of those meh ones, and I've just had it on my shelf for ages, and I'm glad that I read it, but not for me. Don't need to have it physically. The next one is The Hobbit. And I always wanted to read the Lord of the Rings series and watch it, but I recently finally watched the first Lord of the Rings movie. So I just don't think that this is something that I'm going to want to read. I just feel like I will enjoy the movies. I've had this on my TBR for so long, and I just don't think I have the time to read those books anyway. But you never know. But honestly, this is the only book I have of it, so I didn't really want to have it on here anymore. We have Rebel Spring by Morgan Rhodes, and this is actually a sequel to Falling Kingdoms, and I had seen this all over BookTok, all over BookTube. No, actually not BookTok. This is like way before BookTok's time. This is a series that people loved back in the day on BookTube, and I really wanted to read it, and I saw this at like a secondhand bookstore. And it's hardcover, and you know, it was cheaper than a regular hardcover, but still like a hardcover price. So I don't know why I picked it up, because they didn't have the first book, and I've never picked up the first book yet. So I need to get rid of this. It's been forever since I've had this on my shelf, so I need to just let it go and know that I'm probably not going to read that series. So just, yeah. 2 books by Morgan Matson that were also big back in the day on BookTube, and that is Everything Everything and Since You've Been Gone. This one I have read, and it was just meh. It was probably one of those books I would have loved when I was like 14, 15 years old. Gave me similar vibes of like The Summer I Turned Pretty, but with a bit of mystery to it, and you know, I just am not in that era anymore, so I need to let that go. And then I'm just never going to read this because I feel like it will be exactly the same as that one, which I can't really say. It's a different plot, but you know, I don't care for it. And plus it's one of those ones that has that bit missing for God knows what reason, so it's leaving our shelves. And the last one on here actually isn't my book. Can you believe? Owen is letting me unhaul a book of his, and he doesn't read too often, and now he's got a Kindle, so he doesn't really care to collect books, but he's got a few of his favorite books that he's physically read here to the side away from my shelves, but they're still here. And the book he's unhauling is Honeybee by Craig Silvey. This one is an Australian author. It's very dusty, and he read this and he really didn't like it, so he said I could unhaul it, so I'm doing that. And I just thought I would include it on here, seeing as it is part of my library, and I am helping him unhaul it. Read this because this is the author of Jasper Jones and he really enjoyed reading that in school, so he thought he'd pick him up again, but he didn't end up liking this book. That is all. I hope you enjoyed seeing me getting rid of books, which I often don't do. I will be linking down below my Depop if you live in Australia and would like to purchase any of these. They'll be on there for really, really cheap because I just need to get rid of them and I would love for someone else to have them. You know, it's just nicer that way. And message me if you want to bundle them as well, because I can do that so you don't have to pay for shipping and then it'll be a lot cheaper for you. So yeah, that is all. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.